hear. I was going to call you actually Friday morning. I was interested to hear. So we had 90, 91, 92 degrees in some areas of Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
But then we had pretty much almost 5 days solid of cloud cover and a lot of rain. So what's the water temp been
81.
like? Wow. That's amazing.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean,
10-degree drop.
A 10-degree change and into a little more normalcy. You know, I still think that water temp should be, 84, 85 degrees probably would be pretty normal. So it dropped even a little more than that, which, again, we needed it. I think we needed it. Again, I was thinking about you too because I know I was thinking that. I'm like, I'm so happy it's raining.
I was going to call you midweek like, hey, thanks, bud. Really appreciate all that talk you had about wanting rain. Well, we got it. Thanks.
I was thinking that. I'm like,
yeah.
Dylan's not happy. I'm thrilled, but I know Dylan is not happy right now.
That put a hurting on us.
Yeah, I thought it
was tough the first week of Red Snapper, but it's also normal, man.
But it's not normal to rain. That's the part I thought that was weird. Was it's the painful delivery of the rain, right? Could we just have some cloud cover during the day, but make it doable, and then rain at about 3 o'clock, right?
The interesting thing, though, is looking back at the records in the last few years, I would say the last 5 years, it's almost always the beginning of June we get this. It's the first 3 weeks of June at some point we get some really nasty weather.
In the mornings.
Really, for like a couple-day period.
Yeah, right.
I think it was June maybe 3 or 4 years ago. We had it wasn't a named tropical system, but it might as well have been, and it was nasty offshore, and it caught a lot of people by surprise because it wasn't forecasted well.
Right.
And it got up there, 6-8 foot. It sunk some boats. I think it was like June 6th or June 7th. And,
right there.
Yeah, it was ugly.
Yeah.
So I can still complain about it, but at the same time, I take it with a grain of salt because, like you said, it does do a lot of good things, and then also it's just part of it, man, part of the game.
Yeah, no doubt.
We are blessed to do what we love, but also at the same time, we got to work with Mother Nature.
It was really badly needed. I was down at South Sea Island Resort filming yesterday with Captain Nick Fisher, and Nick was saying the same thing, that it boogered some stuff up, the water got dirty, the tarpon pushed offshore, but he said the same thing. We needed it. The water temp was just too high. So, I look at it as a blessing. What do we have for weather coming up?
The weather looks really, really nice here for the next 4 days, 5 days. Might get a little bit more sporty over the weekend, but time will tell. Really, the last 2 weeks, the last 10 days, we've been seeing like 5-7 days out, there's something coming. 5-7 days out, we got to worry about this. But it keeps just getting pushed back. And it's really interesting. We had weather threatening us, like some tropical weather. It was supposed to be the 5th and 6th of June. Then it got pushed back to the 10th and 13th. Then it got pushed back to the 15th and 17th. Then it got pushed back to the 19th. So weather keeps going back. And we're keeping an eye on things. But, everything's looking really good right now for the next 5 days. It looks beautiful. It's going to be hot, but not as hot thanks to all that rain and cloud cover we had. We also have a full moon coming up Wednesday, so we have some really good tides through the weekend and really into the coming work week. And numbers, everything points to some really solid fishing coming up for the next 4, 5, 6 days. So it's a great time to get out there and capitalize. And like you said, the water clarity change has been very, very dramatic. Yeah. I mean, it went from gin clear to more typical really quickly.
Yeah, that's all good news. It's June. June fishing is usually spectacular, and it looks like the next couple days should lead to some of the best fishing we've had, in my opinion, here in the next few days. Should be the best fishing we've had in the last couple of weeks.
Here's to hoping.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good.
Beach fishing has been crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, we tore them up yesterday on the beach out at South Seas. Big snook yesterday.
You don't want to hear how Scott's been doing on the beach.
No, I don't. Scott and I aren't talking. We're not. Reese Windows and Doors. Are you looking for windows and doors for your home? If you are, now's the time. Nobody does it better. Been in business for over 50 years. Free installation, most windows and doors installed in just 6 to 8 weeks. They only use in-house installers, no freelance contractors. Listen, you know my deal on this. Double lifetime warranty. I don't think you can beat it. Adds value to your home. Visit reesewindows.com for more information. That's who is helping us with our weather update right there. We appreciate Reese Windows and Doors being part of the show. Great brand, great company. Been around a long time.
Yes, sir. I had a question for you.
I'm going to make up an answer. Go ahead.
On one of the fishing clubs, I forget where it was, but I saw an interesting thread. They were talking about like the best place to go for reels, and they wanted to see a large selection of reels. And the poster even said, "I love Gator Gyms." They've got so much in Gator Gyms, and really, Gator Gyms, when I went there, was like inspiring how many reels they had.
The store is unbelievable.
And rods and all the tackle they have. It's amazing. But it brought an interesting question to me personally, because I don't go to a ton of tackle shops around the area, but there's so many good ones in Pinellas County.
Well, just the whole Tampa Bay area is littered with incredible tackle stores. It really is.
Yeah.
Legendary, long-term, family-run businesses.
Yeah, we have so many. It's such a big blessing. And it's an interesting list to like compile and think about, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy how many great places we have. We're so blessed to have so many options across the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and to me, it's mind-blowing. Well, maybe not anymore. If you drive around in the Tampa Bay area traffic, you understand why, you can have a tackle store and then 5 miles away have another one that's
Can we bring
really,
up
really
again?
well.
I have to poke again because yet again you bring up Tampa Bay traffic and how bad it is. But this guy,
terrible.
if you missed the OCC event, this guy stood up there and for a solid 3 minutes talked about how there's so much boat traffic on Tampa Bay. But you got to just be patient. You got to work with people. And there's a lot of boats around because our fishing's so good. And it's okay. There's boats out there. Just stay calm. Yet every weekend we're here. And you're all worked up about Tampa Bay area traffic and vehicles.
Traffic is terrible. It's terrible, dude. It's terrible. It's terrible.
So comical.
Listen,
to me.
the stretch, I can't even believe this got brought up because we shouldn't talk about this because I could get myself in trouble. Dude, the stretch, the 25-mile stretch
We're 15 minutes into the show.
Of Sarasota on 75.
Oh, that is terrible.
Bro,
I agree.
Dude, it's the worst stretch, in my opinion. It's the worst stretch of highway in the entire state of Florida.
I-4.
Dude, where? Where is I-4 bad for 25 miles? Seriously.
From exit 55 all the way past Disney. It's pretty bad.
Only certain times of the day. That stretch in Manatee County is horrible all the time. It's impossible. Like, dude, it
is terrible.
Bro, I left Boca Grande. I left Placida Boat Ramp yesterday at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It told me it was going to take me 2 hours to get to O'Neill's. You know why it took me 2 hours? Because for an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes, I was in traffic in Sarasota on 75, bumper to bumper. Like, what idiot designed all that nonsense? And here's the bad part. It's 4 lanes, and there's no construction and no accidents. Ever.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. I don't get it.
They keep adding lanes there, and every time they finish it, it needs another one.
It's terrible. Yeah. I'm like, what is going on right here? And again, I mean, I've been on 95 down to Miami.
Fort Myers isn't much better.
Listen, there's some bad stretches. I get it, but I looked at my thing. I'm like, it's 25 miles of absolute
You should put
nonsense.
a camera in your car.
No, you don't want that. You don't want that. I often wonder. I'm glad I got the windows tinted on my new Bartow Ford F-250 because my hands are just going. I'm cussing up a storm. It's ugly, bro. It's ugly. Yesterday, I was just like, what are we doing?
Your truck's tinted, but not that tinted.
No, I know. You
could go heavier.
They know. I know I could. So they know. They're like, look at that crazy guy over there. Oh, my God. It's just, anyway, yes, traffic is terrible. It's terrible, dude. I was so mad. So, dude, but I mean, it's like, I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You roll down to South Seas. You fish all day. And then I'm in 2 hours of traffic to get to O'Neill's. Then I get in my truck at O'Neill's after pressure washing the boat, getting everything prettied up. And then I'm like, oh, great. It's another hour home yet.
My friend Austin lives up in Panama City Beach, has a big fish house up there, commercial guy. He came down to Pinellas to visit the area and to talk to some of his dealers and was going to stop by Johns Pass just to say hello and see the boats and stuff. So he comes down to Pinellas County, and he's on like the southeast corner of Pinellas County down there. And he calls me. He's like, yeah, I'm about 8 miles away. I'll see you in about 15 minutes. I laughed so hard on the phone. I was like, Austin, you're not in Panama City Beach, buddy. This is Pinellas County.
I'll see you Tuesday.
Those 8 miles are going to take you about 45 minutes, bud.
Right. There's a hotel about the 4 mile mark. Check in there, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Seriously, bro.
I laughed so hard at him. It was so funny. Yeah, it's a different animal here in Pinellas County, but it's just so many great things going on, and it speaks to our biggest problem. I was at a tourism convention recently with Visit Tampa Bay, Visit St. Pete Clearwater, a bunch of the chambers, and they had a panelist like the CEOs of both airports, St. Pete Clearwater, Tampa Airport. Tampa Airport's talking about increasing right now they average about 26 million people annually through that airport. Wow. They're talking about going to like over 40 million in the next 10 years. Boy. And they're all sitting there talking about how visitorship is going up, and the biggest problem that we face is transportation.
Where are we going to put them?
We need transportation. We need more mass transit. Get more cars off the road.
Helicopters.
Buses, boats,
now,
waterborne transportation.
Buses are slow.
Trains.
I don't want more buses. Buses are slow. We need helicopters. Just pick them up, drop them on the rooftop of the restaurants.
They have that. They have that. They have
more.
In Johns Pass, we were about to get a grant to build a parking garage with a helipad on top for drone airport delivery. So you'd take an automated drone from St. Pete Clearwater to Johns Pass.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
They're pioneering it in other cities.
Somebody, let's get her done. Get those people out of my way. The Real Animals Fish Wagon needs to get from point A to point B faster. How do we do that? Let's figure that out. Okay.
Just look up and there's a big F-250 with a boat behind it.
No, listen, I can be on the road. If the rest of you would just drone from point A to point B, the roads would clear up and I'd be good.
No one on the road but me.
That's right. I got room for you. There can be two of us. It's all good.
Elect Mike today.
That's right. Doggone it. We got to go to break. This is just going to be too much. It's going to be one of those shows.
Yep.
Again,
first segment was a winner.
Phone lines are open here, 1-800-969-9352. I promise you, we will talk some fishing. We'll be back. Having trouble finding a plumber or an electrician you can trust? A company that is clean, honest, trustworthy, reasonably priced, and shows up on time? Captain Mike Anderson. Yeah, dude, I was in Bickle's place the other day, and Jesus, they got product, and they are going through it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Love it.
I had the golf council meeting was this week, so we have some stuff to talk about there. Okay. And then it was interesting. I had a conversation with one of the golf council members. I won't bring up their name, but they're a scientist, and they study sharks. That's their big thing, sharks. So I always give her jabs about sharks, and I always like to drop little comments about sharks. And she agrees we have a shark problem in the Gulf, but we were talking about the whole bigger picture. And she's like, hey, over in Florida, what are you guys doing about manatees? She brought it up. And I was like, interesting you say that, because we've never had any conversations about carrying capacity and where we're at with the population. And we've done a really good job rebounding it. Yeah. And so I was having a conversation with a CCA rep, this scientist person, and another ecologist from an NGO, an environmental group. Wow. And the three of us are talking about how the Marine Mammal Protection Act and the Endangered Species Act, ESA, and MMPA are both detriments because they do a really good job regulating these species, but then when you get to a point where these species are doing well, it doesn't have good mechanisms to release.
Right.
It keeps going.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting to have that conversation with an NGO and a scientist who are both like, yeah, we've got problems here. Crazy. And apparently
it's encouraging.
Apparently some of the rec advocacy groups in this administration are pushing for some some changes to ESA and the Marine Mammal Protection Act. So it would be interesting to see changes to MMPA, because that would trickle down to Florida in a big way.
Quick.
Crazy. Nothing on the record, but behind the scenes conversations are happening. Dude, that's like a joke commercial, that little mini engine. But I'm getting served ads. You remember erector sets?
Yeah.
So that was like old when I was a kid, but I was able to get one. And it was so cool, dude. I loved playing with erector sets. So I've looked online to get an erector set. And those things are like freaking $2,000 now because they're collectors.
Right, okay.
So they're not like kids' toys anymore. But I saw online this company, and they're making little baby engines, like the size of your iPhone. And it's a working motor. And they send it to you in pieces. Like you get the injectors, you get the valve covers, the heads, and all these lines, and you build this motor. And then hook up all the lines to it and put the fuel line into an actual fuel tank, and you can turn it on and the engine runs. I was like, dude, that is so cool.
That's crazy.
That'd be so much fun to sit there and tinker with.
We need some more of that. We should have a whole school, classes in school on that shit.
Yeah.
Get kids into that kind of shit again.
Mm-hmm. Technical schools, man.
Yeah.
I'm interviewing right now. We have an Indeed ad, Indeed listing up. We're trying to hire an engineer, like a mechanic. Dude, it's interesting, some of the people that I've met. Because it's like, these guys are the type of guys that wouldn't get hired at Publix, right? They wouldn't get hired at your average place because they're mechanics. Right. Almost all of them have very clearly said, like, hey, would I be working alone, right? Like, they don't get along with other people. But they name their price because they have the experience. It's really interesting. You get into that side of things, you can name your own price.
Welcome back. 624 here at the iHeartMedia Empire. Hope your Saturday morning is off to a great start. We certainly appreciate you joining us here. You can also join us on the Real Animals Facebook page, the Hubbard's Marina Facebook page, and you can leave your questions and comments right there as well. Or you can give us a call at 1-800-969-9352. Want to put a little programming note out there. The OCC Roadhouse Real Animals Fishing Conversation, June 24th.
I was like, wait, what happened to Mike?
June 24th?
I was concerned about you for a second.
7 to 9 p.m. Because at my age,
the fourth Tuesday. Yeah,
at my age, it could happen in a minute.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh no, JB, call 911.
For the listeners out there, we're on the 6th floor, the iHeartMedia building, just in case JB and Dylan fall asleep at the wheel and you think something happened to me, send help.
June 24th, fourth Tuesday of the month.
That's right.
7 to 9 p.m.
That's right. We've got Ingle Coolers, Bull Bay Rods. We got Hubbard's Marina swag, Real Animal swag to give away. Going to be a good one. We haven't decided yet what we're doing on a guest for that one, if we're going to guest it up or what we're doing. So
we haven't decided yet.
No, we haven't. So maybe more info to come on that, but put it on your calendar. The food is good. The beer is cold. The atmosphere is great. They give us a huge inside room.
Yeah, it's a great time.
Especially in June. The AC will be on. It's all good stuff. So, again, fourth Tuesday of the month, this month for June 24th, 7 to 9 p.m. Going to be a good one. Hopefully you guys are already signed up for the CCA Florida Star Tournament. If not, it's certainly not too late to get involved. You're going to fish until Labor Day anyway. The tournament runs through Labor Day, so you got plenty of time and lots of great giveaways there. Winning stuff you can win, boats and motors and power poles and all kinds of goodies. So make sure you get involved. CCA Florida Star Tournament. You can go to ccaflstar.com and get signed up right there. It's a great, great event. Super cool stuff. So great fishing yesterday down at South Seas. The big snook were biting big time on that incoming tide in the morning. Really good red fishing. We sat on a pile of trout in Boca Grande Pass that were just not wanting to play. We had some incredible, but we were able to I just kept looking at going, you can't present this crab any better than we're presenting it, and just couldn't get bit. But we didn't see anybody else getting bit either. It was just seemed to be one of those mornings. I heard the guys that found them offshore did good. Wind from the west dirties things up. The tarpon usually go offshore. When things start to calm down, those fish start to come back. When they start to come back, if you can catch them on the comeback, they're hungry. They done traveled. They put in a little work. The sharks were bad. We saw a lot of sharks on the Simrad, on the side imaging, and I think that had a lot to do with the bite being tough. You know, people used to ask me in Bow Grant Pass all the time, why there's so many tarpon here? Why are they not chewing? And when we knew the sharks were there, I was like, let me ask you a question. If somebody was chasing you around your neighborhood with a 9mm trying to kill you, would you stop, as you passed a cheeseburger and go, oh, hang on a minute.
You know my answer to this.
You would not eat a cheeseburger. Yeah, I know you'd turn around and shoot them. That's the same thing I would do.
And then eat the cheeseburger.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And then maybe I'd call 911.
After I finished my cheeseburger.
I want to wait until you bleed out first. There's no saving you. But, it makes sense, though. When the predators are around, the fish just are not settled in and don't eat really good. So, but we're coming up on that full moon, so you're going to have some hill tides. That tarpon bite should be really, really good. This particular moon in June is one of my favorites. Should be a good one for sure.
And offshore has been really, really good with the red snapper season kicking off June 1st. For us, it's going to be open June 1st through September 15th. We've got 3.5 months on our federally permitted for-hire vessels consecutively. So remember, it's open June, July, August, in the first 15 days of September. We also have the private recreational season open for all of June, July, and then the first 14 days of September, and then you also have weekends through the end of the year. And this past week, we had the Gulf Council meeting. We're coming up on a break right now, but we're going to talk this show about some of the updates from that council meeting. And there was some pretty groundbreaking information on both red grouper and gag grouper. Not crazy good news on gag grouper, but pretty good news.
I'm glad you're smart and you remember all those dates and what's open and what's closed.
Because I cheat. I have a computer in front of me.
Attaboy. I thought you were just that smart.
Fake it till you make it, buddy.
That's it. If you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with. We'll be back talking fishing on the other side. 970 WFLA.
Mike, get his button. He's his hand on the button.
Lexus dealers, WFLA News Desk.
Smart.
He was at the Metallica.
No, officer.
He was at the Metallica concert. Shit-faced.
I was not drinking tonight, officer. I just needed a nap.
They had the Metallica concert at Raymond James Stadium and the Rays game getting out at the same time. And then there was somebody playing out at the amphitheater.
Nice.
Can you imagine?
Nope. That's a good word. I'm Tim Adkins. Your local Lexus dealer or go to Lexus.com to find a dealer. Morning, Donald. Morning, Captain Van. Joe, that's funny. Mike's never rode a bus I've been driving. Jim, what's up, buddy? Randall, William Keene, Paul Brown. Morning, LaShonda, Nick, Jerry, Bill, Robert. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Dan the Fishman, Karen, what's going on, buddy? Rick Hill and Tim Paul, good morning, guys. For those who know, Captain Joe, Drew, his baby girl was born day before yesterday? Or what day is that? No, yesterday morning.
Saturday, all day. Yeah. So, you got some of your cousins work for you too?
Yeah. My cousin Garrett works with us. Yeah. He's the galley manager.
Okay.
And then my cousin Sam is the boat builder at Gulfport.
Because the lady the doctor who's been taking care of my knee, Brittany, one of her girlfriends is married to Garrett.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Carrie Ann. Yeah. Carrie Ann's a nurse.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah, Carrie Ann's, I believe, an RN now. Yeah, she is an RN now.
Yeah, because they were like, I can't remember how the whole conversation came. Well, they didn't want, my knee was so bad, she was like, you need to stay off that thing tomorrow. She goes, you need to be leg up. I'm like, not happening. I got stuff to do. I'm going to be in Boca Grande filming.
Yeah.
She's like, filming? I'm like, yeah, fishing. I fish for a living, blah, blah, blah. And then somehow she's like, oh, my husband fishes a little bit, blah, blah, blah. And then my friend's husband works at Hubbard's. I'm like, really? I'm like, well,
Small world.
Dylan Hubbard is my partner on the radio show, and we do a lot of business together and hang out together. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. So
Crazy.
yeah.
I haven't worked out at all this week. Yeah, Sunday morning? Yeah, not Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. I was doing really heavy deadlifts and tweaked my back a little bit. So as soon as that happened, I was like, yep, taking a few days off, waiting until this is
You're
right.
pretty full. Sometimes it helps, I think, to take a little time off. I switched up my chest routine to almost back to exclusive dumbbells.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's good.
dude.
I like it. I do almost exclusive dumbbells, and I have for many years. But the last 2 months, I've been doing heavy flat bench barbell, and I just kind of work up to my heaviest and then go a little bit above heavy and just unrack it and hold it. So I do maybe 15 minutes on flat bench and then move to finishing on dumbbells. And I like that. That way I get a little bit of both.
I do that. It's kind of a like I do, it's not heavy. I think I did 45s.
Mm-hmm.
And but I do 15,
Mm-hmm.
and then I immediately go to flies for 15 with 30s, and then superset those.
Yeah, that'll burn you out.
Boy! And then I do some.
I thought that was bed music.
I do some machine flies, and I did inclines this week, and it was funny because when I got home, I was fine all day yesterday. I didn't feel nothing, fishing, it's all good. It's other than my leg. My leg was bothering me, but I was like, I feel good. I got home, took a shower, laid down on the couch, and Beth went and got some food and brought it home. And I went to sit up, I'm like, oh dear God. My shoulders and everything was like, yeah, hot dog. Mixing some new work. I'm like, yeah, it felt good.
Keep you guessing.
I got to get my diet figured out. That's my only problem is my diet. So
Yeah. You and me both.
I got to get my diet figured out.
I do really well
I didn't even eat this
almost
morning.
all day. It's when I get home that messes me up.
I'm just bad. I just, when I drive, and the bad part is, I'm eating and I'm not hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I just like food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I can't, I just stay thick through here because I got to get to a calorie deficit of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
I did really good, and I shouldn't have, but I did I've been trying to ramp up my treadmill time.
Yeah.
My incline, and I need to burn some calories.
My treadmill broke. I told you about
that.
that.
Yeah, you did.
Peloton got off their
Did
high
they?
horse. Yeah.
Okay.
They learned, I don't know what happened, but they all of a sudden emailed me back, hey, it's coming on this day. And I was like, well, I didn't authorize any payments. I'm not paying for this thing. And they emailed me back, it's covered under warranty. I was like, okay.
Nice. Well, that's good.
So I'm excited to get my treadmill back because all I've had is the bike. And I did the bike every day for 14 days. And it just, my hips get so tight. I need to rotate it. I like going on the bike a couple days and the treadmill a couple days, and it doesn't keep you locked up.
I need to look into the Peloton treadmill.
Oh, it's awesome.
Welcome back. Put a shout out to our good friends at Affordable Roofing Systems. I was thinking about affordable roofing on my way in this morning, and it kept bringing me back to David Torres, the owner, and how much I enjoyed having him on the boat with his daughters, and watching them interact and enjoying David Torres, the owner, as a person. And to me, that's really important when you hire a company to do something as big and important as covering up everything you own, like putting a roof on your house. It's important to know that the people you're dealing with are truly people you like, people you would want working on your home, people that care about the same things you care about, like family. I couldn't give these guys a higher recommendation. Again, they've done roofs for some of my favorite people. Dylan, Captain Ben Marshall, one of Dylan's neighbors did it. They came and did some repairs on my roof after the last storm came through. Great, great people. Shingle, metal, tile, flat roof. You guys know the spiel. We've been talking about these guys for a long time, over 3 decades of roofing experience. If you need your roof done, now is the time to get it done before storm season gets here, and we couldn't recommend anybody more than we recommend Affordable Roofing Systems. Call 1-888-397-ROOF for your free estimate. Visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. Why are you laughing?
Bro, storm season's here. I don't know if you know it. It started June 1st.
Well, all right. I mean, but
it was a beautiful plug until you said that. Then I had to laugh.
Then I lost you.
Yeah. I was on board. I was like, yeah. It's storm season. What?
Well, I mean, it doesn't I know we could have had, we were talking about one coming in, this week, but it doesn't seem
the official
like
start to hurricane season is June 1st, but they've actually been talking for the last couple of years about moving the official start date to May 15th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because we do sometimes get those end of May storms in the Gulf. So, I mean,
totally.
we're into storm season here.
I know. It just seems like more, like, doesn't it get a little crazier like September?
Yeah, for our area specifically, it seems like early season, like end of May, into June, and sometimes even into the start of July is a little threatening. But it seems like July, August, and into early September, we're pretty good a lot of times.
Tiptoeing.
But yeah, end of season for us is a doozy.
Brutal,
and
usually.
that's typical for our area, and we saw that last year with that old 1-2 punch.
Yeah, let's hope we can bob and weave here this year.
A lot of Saharan dust right now, guys.
Yeah,
that's a good
Saharan
thing.
dust, yeah. Is that a good thing?
Yeah, Saharan dust in the upper level atmosphere really, really keeps storm traffic down. And the upper atmosphere isn't conducive to building convection. So more dust, the better.
That's a lot of big words, dude. Can't you just say that stuff's good and just move
Dust
on?
is good, Mike.
It's funny. Keep it. I'm not all that bright over here. You're messing me all up, dude. Let's go to Donald in Lutz. Donald, what's up?
Oh, my God. You guys are having too much fun in there.
It's true. It's very true.
That's how we roll.
That is. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
So last Sunday, I had my kayak outing up in Safety Harbor. Man, we got into some fish. I got some beautiful redfish and
Nice.
trout. And, so I normally don't dead stick. I don't like it. It's boring to me, but I tried it. I got 6 catfish.
There
And
you
after
go.
the 6th one, it's like, I'm done. I'm going straight back to my paddle tails, and boom, trout, boom, 22.5-inch red. And I inspected that red with a microscope to see if there was a tag on there. It was like 2 tags.
You got to be careful this time of year.
Yeah, you do. No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. I saw another tagged redfish was caught off of Hernando Beach, and not by a registered angler.
Knuckleheads.
Losers. I don't get it. Well, why are they catching the tagged reds and registered anglers aren't? It's just crazy,
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Got to be in it to win it.
That's it.
Yeah,
So today I'm volunteering at the Children's Fishing Clinic at Picnic Island. I'm driving right now. I've got my kayak. I was asked to talk to the kids about kayak fishing and all sorts of safety, and I got a ton of goodies. I've got probably like 20 life jackets. I've got raffle tickets. So each kid will get a raffle ticket, and
nice.
got, a whole bunch of bobbers. I've got bags of baits and some boxes, bait boxes, and so a lot of goodies give away to the kids. So it'll
Good.
be fun.
Yeah, anything that's benefiting the kids and fishing is a win-win.
Amen.
So good for
And
you.
they feed us. They have deviled crabs. They're going to do Cuban sandwiches and drinks.
Nice.
So you can't beat that.
No, sir.
No, free food and fishing kids, win-win. Win.
It is a win-win.
Yeah, for sure. Well, good. Have a big old time, buddy. You the man. Thanks for dropping in on us, and keep up the good work, man. Go help them kiddos out.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's about. You got to keep that generation keep going.
Give back, man. Give back. Can't be take.
You guys take care, stay safe in tight lines, and you have a great week out there.
You too, buddy.
Appreciate it, man.
Good stuff there.
Yeah, we got another caller?
We don't.
All right.
Let's
so
talk about
this week at the council
I
meeting.
know. Let's talk about the council meeting.
Yeah,
I
so
like that stuff.
the interesting council meeting, because most of the time the golf council meetings are about 4 days, Monday through Thursday, and generally we move around the 5 Gulf states for these meetings. So you're always traveling to a meeting.
Right.
Well, because of the whole, I don't know what you call it, I guess government instability right now and questioning, they didn't get funding in time. So normally the council does their fiscal planning, they get allocated funds, and then they're able to prosecute their business, their government business, the way they
Execute's probably a better word than prosecute, bro.
whatever. So
Whatever.
they essentially they didn't have the funding, so they couldn't plan, they couldn't sign contracts. So this June meeting was supposed to be in the Keys. It was canceled in person, and they had it in Tampa. And it was an online meeting, so that way they didn't have to pay travel for the council members to travel there. So it was less people there, and it was only 2 days, so they didn't have to pay as much for hotels, all that good stuff.
Right.
So they tried to make it as cheap as possible. So instead of a 4-day meeting, it was a 2-day meeting, which means everything was packed in there really tight. Some stuff got moved off the agenda, but they kind of focused. So it was interesting. It was kind of nice. I didn't have to travel far. And also, it was just
But you lost.
get in, get out.
Lost out on a trip to the Keys.
That did stink. My wife's still pretty upset about
sure
that.
she is, yeah.
She doesn't go to very many council meetings with me, but she was going to go to that one.
I understood.
So long story short, they talked about the gag grouper thing. So we've been talking about how gag grouper is going to open September 1st. We know that without a shadow of a doubt. It's going to open September 1st. The question has been, how long of a season are we going to have? And because of the overages, back of the napkin math told us that we would get 6 to 10 days starting September 1st. But at this council meeting, NOAA, the Southeast Regional Office, presented the data that they had been working with the state on. Because remember, for gags, we're not managing with federal data. We're managing with state refish data. So the state of Florida, FWC, is actually using their numbers to measure the health of the fishery, which is really good. And the reason that the council has chosen to do that is because of the MRIP problems that we had, the federal data numbers that we had a few years back, when they said, when the early estimates that hadn't been smoothed out yet were showing like 1 million pounds of gags landed at the Skyway. Recreational anglers had a lot of outcry. There was a lot of support. And the council voted to stop using federal numbers. And thankfully they did, because the state numbers showed that we caught about, I forget the numbers. I have them in my book, but I forget them off the top of my head. But it was around 250,000 pounds of gags caught. The federal numbers were like 1.2 million.
That's a big difference. Dude. That's a big difference. Almost off by 1 million pounds.
It's a joke.
Yes.
So long story short, the state numbers showed that there was an overage, but it was a smaller overage than the federal numbers. So we're expecting 6 to 10 days. They come in with finalized numbers, which adjusted that down a little bit. And it was originally like 270, 280,000. Now it's like 255, I believe. So with that adjustment down, the projections came out and they said 14 to 20 days. So it's not great news. We're not standing on rooftops shouting and yelling, but it's better than 6 to 10. And then the other piece of potential good news is they passed that emergency rule to reduce the bag limit from 2 fish to 1. So it would only give us 1 gag per day for this 2025 season. But the conversation around the table made it pretty clear there's a decent chance that that rule won't be in place in time, because it takes them so long to go through rulemaking.
Right.
So if that rule's not in place, that means we're going to have 14 to 20 days of gags starting September 1st this year with 2 fish per person.
So will they do that? My question right away would be, are they going to do those days just straight through?
Yes,
Okay.
it'll be consecutive. Okay. But I would say when they say 14 to 20 days, you could pretty much bet that it's probably going to be closer to 14. And I personally wouldn't mind that, right? I want the most season, but I also don't want the numbers to say we went over.
Overage, right.
Because if we get a shorter season this year, while it might hurt and stink, next year we should have like 40 days if there's no overage, because those quotas grow every year. And next year We have a stock assessment coming on gag grouper, which should hopefully really help get us out of this situation completely. And then also I was told recently we have a Refish AP meeting coming up sometime soon. And there's going to be some new scientific information presented to us where they're going to use some of the G-Fisher data, which is the camera studies, and they're going to potentially do an interim analysis on gags, which could, in the short run, like next year, update some catch levels. So that could be a small increase, plus we're already getting a pretty large increase next year, plus the stock assessment, which would give us, hopefully, an exponentially large increase. So there's a couple really good things happening with gags.
Am I the only person who thinks this is too complicated?
No, okay. I agree with you. It's very complicated.
It's complicated, bro. Why is it so complicated?
You should have seen the politics happening at this 2-day compressed meeting. It was nuts.
No, I should.
There's way too much politics.
I should not have.
Yeah.
That's why they don't let me in the building anymore.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting.
No.
But long story short, some decently positive information we can hang our hats on with gags. The other really positive information is red grouper. It was I've been talking about it for 3 weeks on our shows, but they finally finalized it and came out and publicly said red grouper should not close this year for recreational anglers.
Okay.
Huge news.
Yeah,
we were expecting them to close mid-year sometime, and now they're going to stay open all year.
Now is there fear? Let me play the
devil's advocate. You're good at this.
Well, now is there fear that if they don't close it, then we have a huge overage this year, and then we end up with no season next year?
No.
Okay.
Red grouper, again, state numbers now, not federal numbers. And then also next year, the quota is supposed to go up a lot. What I'm worried about next year, and I was told not to worry about next year yet, and I was told also, hey, don't cause panic over this, but let's do it. Next year,
love it
this is an emergency rule that's allowing us to go all year this year. An emergency rule expires. So next year, that emergency rule expires. So this year, they're doubling the quota. The rec season won't close. Yay. Next year, we're back to square one with this super small quota and expecting a closure mid-year next year. But the council is working on a plan amendment right now that would finalize this doubling of the quota for red grouper. The catch is, and my worry is, even if they do it really fast, the feds have to then implement that rule really fast. And there's a lot of talk and conversation that they won't be able to have it in place in time. So we avoided the closure mid-year this year, but next year there's a pretty decent chance that we could have a closure mid-year, and then a few months later it reopens and we get this higher level quota. So I'm hoping we can avoid another closure next year, but at least we avoided it this year.
Could we go back to talking about some more silly stuff?
Yeah.
Why on God's green earth does it take that long to get that in place?
The federal system is
why don't we just speak English?
Broken.
It sucks. Why don't we just speak English?
It just takes a lot of time. There's a lot of bureaucratic red tape, and it stinks how slow it is. But on the flip side, the reason it's slow is because it's so open. So it's like I want to complain about how slow and arduous and how annoying it is, but also at the same time, it's the only rulemaking process in which average Joe citizen like myself can show up and actually have influence. So
but once you get all that input and you know a rule's going to get changed, like, okay, we're changing this, then it shouldn't take you a year to get the damn thing in place.
Lawsuits. Most of the drawback is lawyers going over it, making sure they don't get sued.
I gotta go to break.
Yep.
That's going to be best for this show if I go to break. That's what's going to be best. Please play music. Let's go to break.
We'll be right back.
Yeah. I need a break. We'll be back.
We got other bad news. I shared the good news first. So don't go anywhere. We'll get Mike more upset on the other side.
Fireworks coming. Phone lines are open. 1-800-969-9352.
Thank you, William Keene. Appreciate it, buddy. We did win for the 4th year in a row, best charter boat in the entire country. Appreciate all you guys for making it possible. Good luck out there, Chris Collins. Lawyers ruin everything. Amen to that, buddy. Craig Story said, I was listening on the radio and thought the show was a repeat. Turns out it's just Captain Mike's annual Sarasota traffic sucks rant. That's funny. No, William Keene, I did not get the sausage from Mike yet. He conveniently forgets that. I got to remind him. I also forgot to remind him in his defense. I shouldn't be defending his lack of sausage, but I am.
Stretch it out, big fella.
Yeah. John on the stream, or Craig on the stream said, I was listening to this show on the radio and thought it was just a repeat. Turns out it's just Capt. Mike Anderson's annual Sarasota traffic sucks rant.
I love that.
Funny.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. That's all I ask. Might be a rant, but I'm correct. That we know. We know that for sure. Don't get me started on palm trees.
DOT lighting.
As I'm driving down the road, pissed off anyway, I get to see palm trees all grouped together in one clump of stuff. Stupid.
How dare they try to make our roads beautiful?
Oh, shut up with that. Shut up. I had some jackass trying to tell me about that when we had a conversation about the Skyway.
You know who pays for a lot of that stuff?
Us.
Well, no, not
us.
No, actually,
who?
Absolutely not.
Who not?
What I'm trying to say is, you know who pays for a lot of that kind of thing?
Who?
Is TDT or TDCs, and TDCs use TDT, which is all visitor funded. So that visitor funded tax, which is tourist development tax, is all received when visitors come here and stay in hotels.
Or
groups like Visit St.
or
Clearwater turn around and use that to beautify the area and attract more visitors.
Or when I go to stay at the hotels in St. Pete and
That's true.
Tampa, I pay that same tax. So guess who's paying it? We.
How often do you stay in hotels?
Tonight, actually.
Going back to the show.
Actually, we're staying in a hotel tonight.
Well, pay that tax so we can get more palm trees.
Good golly.
Yep.
Welcome back. 6:56. You know, this is why callers are good.
So we can't talk to each other?
No, so we can't talk so much. Some shows it's better if you have more hosts and less callers. This show's better if more callers, less hosts. It's
funny how that works.
Yeah, it's kind of how it goes. Put a shout out to our good friends at Relentless Perpetual Edge Knives. Let's do a plug. Let's save ourselves. The world's first self-sharpening knife. It actually sharpens as it cuts. This thing is unbelievable. Ultra hard carbide, never rust titanium blade, true grit glass, reinforced ABS handle on a knife that is perfectly balanced. Comes in at least 5 great models. Take the work out of filleting a pile of fish and get your Relentless knives today. Go to relentlessknivesusa.com. Find out for yourself why this is the knife all the pros are talking about.
You want to hear the other stuff?
Come on, quick. You got to go quick.
I know. So the other part of the council meeting that was not as good, not positive.
Glad this is a short segment.
They're working on these 2 amendments for shallow water grouper and deep water grouper. 2 things happened: a scamp grouper stock assessment and a yellow edge grouper stock assessment. And that's what's causing the shallow water grouper and deep water grouper conversation. Essentially, shallow water grouper is they're doing an interim document because they can't get the actual plan amendment done in time. And it had a stock assessment, and they have to end the overfishing. So that's why there's this interim rule, why they passed the bigger document. So in 2026, we are going to see a 6-month season for shallow water grouper, which is scamp, yellowmouth, yellowfin or fireback, and true black grouper. So those 4 grouper species are going to go from being open all year to only being open 6 months, July 1st through the end of the year. Pretty upsetting, because we had scamp all year, and now we're going to only have them for 6 months in 2027. And then the even more upsetting part is when they actually finalize the bigger document, which should be in place in 2027, it'll be even a more dramatic cut. This interim plan is only cutting the quota by about 57% for both sectors. This bigger document could have a 60, 65, 70% cut.
Damn.
Yeah. So scamp grouper, scamp, yellowmouth, yellowfin, and blacks are going to be severely cut 2026 and even more cut in 2027 and beyond. And then the deep water grouper, the snowy, the yellow edge, the Warsaw, or I can't remember the whole deep water one off the top of my head, but the ones we care about and see the most are the snowy and yellow edge. That's going to receive even larger cuts 2027 and beyond. So our deep water fishery is going to get really hammered. And they're talking about queen snapper as well coming up. So that deep water fishery is going to start looking a lot more like the South Atlantic. They're only allowed 1 per boat in the South Atlantic, and it's a very short season. So it's coming to the Gulf.
I'm so happy it's time to go to break.
Yeah. It's not good.
Nothing good's going to come out of my mouth right there.
Yeah.
Zero things.
Some positive, some negative, buddy.
How about this?
That's life.
Our good friend William Keene up in Crystal River. He's up on the other side. Hopefully we'll hear from you as well. Questions, comments, fishing reports. 1-800-969-9352. Let these phone lines up. Let's talk a little fishing. We'll be back. 970 WFLA.
By Real Animals Fishing.
Beaver tooth technology. That's right, Paul.
Beaver tooth. Tooth. T-O-O-F. Tooth. Mike never rode a bus I drove. Oh, William Keene. Listen, I'm not even taking your call, William. Are you crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Dylan, did you get the sausage from Mike?
Nope. He did not. I talked about it. You were out of the room. He said that, and I said, no, I didn't get the sausage from Mike. But Mike also told me I have to tell him Friday night to remind him.
It would help.
So
that would be helpful.
It's on both of us. I'll take a little tiny bit of the lack of sausage inventory around here.
Sausage. Dude, listen, all you got to do is let me know when you want to go. Come fill your own freezer. We need shoe doughs anyway.
Yeah,
come up, be a guest, shoot some doughs.
Yeah, I need to do that.
I only get $2, so you can't have one of those, but you can damn sure come shoot all the doughs you want.
Isn't that? I've heard that's better, right?
I mean, because I do sausage with so much of it,
it doesn't matter.
I don't.
It's like frying your fish.
Some people claim, I think the doughs are so much better. Even when a lot of people like the doughs for ground better. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're not just
I like venison steaks and like bacon wrapped venison. That's all good, but dude, yeah, the ground venison and the venison sausage. That's the way I like it.
I agree. Yeah. But then, so what I'm saying is, like when my wife does ground venison, she puts taco stuff in it to make tacos or spaghetti sauce to make spaghetti.
It's hard to say.
So I'm like, can you tell me you can really tell the difference?
Yeah.
I can't. So maybe it's me. I don't know, but. We got, according to the Georgia DNR, we got too many does. So, got to shoot them. Which is never a bad thing. Deer! Shoot them! So, I can't wait. so excited already. We're getting close.
When does that start? October 15th?
19th. Opens the 19th, closes December 12th. I will be absent a lot.
So 2 months, basically.
Yeah. But I'll be here on the weekends, just leaving
during the
shortly
week.
thereafter, yes. Gotta go! Going to the woods! I feel like Robin Hood that time of year. To the trees! You know, that's where
No.
you never seen it?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
the bad dudes come over the hills and they're like, to the trees! That's me. Deer season's open. To the trees! Kill them all! I had so many great hunts last year, man. So many great hunts.
Ryder went, too, for the first time, right?
Yeah, got his first deer.
Nice.
Now he wants a buck, of course. Ryder, only get 2, son. I'd actually let him shoot one. My son-in-law's he's on a dove list. He can only shoot doves now. He's got an 8 and a 10. I don't even have a 10 yet. You only get to shoot doves this year. And if you see a
That's
big buck,
Rachel's husband.
yeah, if you see a big buck, I'm sitting in that stand on the next day. He's got a horseshoe up his keister because he has been on like 3 hunts his entire life and shot an 8 and a 10.
Nice.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Horseshoe up a keister.
Yeah, I told him too one time. I said, if you're sitting in this stand and you don't see anything, you get bored. You know, there's a pile of corn down the road down here. So I come and get him. He's got stuff all over him. Like, what happened to you? He's like, well, I got bored. So I climbed down. He said, when I came out to look down the road, I could see him down there. He's like, but I thought, damn, I can't just go walking down the road. So I went up and around. Then I got on my belly and I crawled in. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, dude. He goes, I got pretty close too. I'm like, what?
Now that's a way to hunt a deer.
Snakes and critters and no, that's not. No. You keep your happy ass in the stand.
That's hunting.
That's crazy, dude. And the funny part was he got to camp and he told Billy.
That's why I like that like deer or that bow hunting thing when you
stalk them. Yeah, that's crazy. Dude.
That's really cool when you get within 10 yards.
Yeah, of a moose, a bull moose. Yeah.
Or a bear.
Yeah, or a bear. Yeah.
Cam Haynes, he's still hunting a male bear, and recently he went on a hunt and got within, I think it was like 8 yards of a big female sow with cubs.
Oh.
And he didn't shoot it because he's after a male, an old male. But there's videos of him and he's got his bow like this, and this big female is kind of like bowing up to him a little bit. It was pretty wild. It seemed like he was as close as you are to me.
Yeah,
to this bear.
Yeah, for sure. You can smell the bear. You're too close. What park is that?
Jim said a doe has twice the fat on him compared to a buck. That's what I'm after. That's sausage deer right there.
Depends on how much corn you feed them, dog. It depends on how much them bucks are in our corn. But no, I think he's right. I mean, it makes sense. But
yeah,
we corn them good so that they got a little fat on them.
Yeah.
I don't need them just eating trees and shit. Eat the corn.
A lot of jingles this morning. Keeps tricking me. So, I heard you do perpetual, so that's not in the...
I didn't get a chance to ask him.
Okay.
So I just did it.
I sent off the proposal just cold to that Stretch Lab place.
Oh, good.
Because I never see the owner. She's out of town. But I'm hoping that she'll respond and I'll have a chance to actually talk to her about it.
Great.
You know how that is.
think
A
they have one
cold
in
proposal email doesn't go over well.
I think they have one in Brandon.
It's a national franchise, so I'm sure they do. But her, the actual owner of this franchise locations. She has, I think, 3 or 4 of them. There's one in South Tampa, I know.
Oh, okay.
Florida Fishing, presented by Hubbard's Marina, hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show. Captain Mike Anderson, Captain Dylan Hubbard. Talking fishing. Phone lines are open, 1-800-969-9352. As promised, let's go to the phones here. Let's check in with a good friend. Well, we were good friends. William Keene. Willie, what's up? Throwing me under the bus this morning. You threw me under the bus, bro.
Hey, Captain, as well. I'm going to go a different angle on this one. I think we should give Dylan a props and Hubbard's props. They won the 4th year in a row the best charter boat.
That's right. You did. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well deserved.
I appreciate the phone call, William. And, we're very blessed. We have a great team at Hubbard's Marina. To be able to pull off best charter boat in the country for the 4th year in a row is pretty wild. Definitely very honored for sure. But it's all thanks to our team and our captain's crew, staff, and people like you who support us, William.
It's a big operation, so you gotta manage it right. But without the right people to manage, it doesn't usually work so good. So congratulations. That's good stuff.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, man. Super
very
cool.
blessed.
You're an excellent man and an excellent captain. I feel at some point you should run for office because I certainly vote for you. Sidelines, guys. Next time you hear these words, hope you're saying them fish on.
Thanks,
I
William.
appreciate it, buddy.
Oh, that was straight up the Dylan Hubbard schmooze call right there, huh?
Yeah.
Love
and
that.
he reminded me that I didn't get sausage, so thanks, William.
It's messed up. I don't even know why I took his call. Let's get our Visit St. Pete Clearwater safe boating tip of the weekend here. Let's check in with Captain Jim Fogel. Jimmy, how are you, brother?
I'm good, guys. I missed you last weekend. Had to go down to the Keys and try to pull a few mahi out, which we did. Had a great time. Weather was good. Little bumpy going out, but it wasn't bad.
Nice.
Real fun
Good deal.
time. Yeah. But it reminded me, being out on the boat all day, reminded me that the heat is on,
It's real.
and we have got to drink liquids, non-alcoholic, non-caffeine. We need to drink a lot of liquids. We can't let ourselves get dehydrated. It's easy to do. You get out there, you're in the fight, you're moving around, you're hanging on, the wind's blowing, you're feeling good. The wind, it might even cool you off enough to where you feel like you're not hot, but you are still perspiring. And it will catch up with you. You will get tired. You will start feeling sick.
Yep.
And before you know it, it will put you down.
And Captain Jim,
I know I've only...
I would even go a step farther, Captain Jim, and say that if you know you're going offshore, especially because an inshore trip, I mean, generally you're 4, 5, 6 hours, maybe 8 hours. But these offshore trips, man, you're going to be out there 10, 12 hours, 39 hours in our case, right? So it's not only staying hydrated on the boat, it comes down to what you did the day before. And so often we'll
Rehydrate.
get guys and they're all excited. We're going fishing tomorrow, slamming beers or out at the beach having a good day and barbecuing.
Yeah, and they get dehydrated
the day before.
Before they ever get on the boat.
You gotta step on the boat hydrated, fueled, and rested.
Yeah, because it does take it out of you. It's just like we say about alcohol. It only takes about half the alcohol to get you in the same spot as it does on land. It takes a lot more fuel, meaning water, to keep you hydrated.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you can go down. When you start feeling warm yourself, sit in the shade, stop what you're doing.
Amen.
Put some ice. I find if I put a cold bottle of Gatorade behind my neck or under my neck, that all that blood that's going through your body has got to go through your neck. So if you can cool those spots down, it'll help your whole body.
No doubt.
Also under your arms, that helps a lot. But if somebody actually gets into the bad shape, you've got to get them. You got to get them wet. You get them out of the sun. You rinse them down with good cold water. It doesn't have to be ice water, but just water. And you keep a close eye on them. And if they actually pass out, then you've got to get medical help. You got to call for outside help. But a lot of times you can get them to come back around. I mean, we've had guys, and I after this happened, this one guy, I figured it out. I mean, I knew it had happened to me. All of a sudden, you're out there and you're fishing, you're having a great old time, and yeah, you're a little tired and you're a little dehydrated, but you're not bad. And all of a sudden, the color fades out of everything. You start seeing just white. Everything's bleached out, and you know you're getting ready to go into it bad, so you've got to quit. So hydrate constantly. If you don't urinate for a couple of hours, you're starting to get dehydrated.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, there's a couple of companies out there too, Jim, that do like I want to say it's Frog Togs. It does like them towels that you can put like in a Ziploc bag and just put them in your cooler. And they actually, they actually get really, really cold, and they're great things to have on your boats. I mean, I have one. It's a great thing for the recreational guys to carry just in case somebody gets on your boat. Maybe it's a buddy, maybe it's your wife, maybe it's one of the kids, because kids definitely can get running around and not get hydrated. You know, a lot of sugar in their system sometimes, especially as you roll into the weekends. You know, they eat a donut in the morning for breakfast and all that stuff, and they get really dehydrated. It's nice to have that when they get that little funk going to them where they don't feel good and they're getting dizzy. If you can sit them in the shade, put one of them cool towels around their neck, makes a big difference. And like I said, I know there's more than one company, but Frog Togs comes to mind. I got mine from Mike Frenette there in Louisiana, and he's a Frog Togs guy, so I'm pretty sure it's from Frog Togs, the one that I have.
Yeah, I think you're right. They come in a little round plastic canister type
and you can keep it right in you can keep it right in the ice chest like a drink, and you just pop it when you need it, and you're good to go.
Yeah, we also have a couple of those that we take. Good point. Thank you for adding that.
Good
All right,
stuff.
Guys,
you the man.
You keep up the good work for the Coast Guard Auxiliary in St. Pete. It's Jim Fogel. Be safe out there.
See you, buddy.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you. Good work.
We've had a lot of incidents recently because it's been rough too. Is along with what we were just talking about, when you go offshore, there's a potential of getting seasick. Once you start getting seasick, you're throwing up. And once you're throwing up, you're losing all your liquids.
Dehydrated.
And then what happens is your blood pressure's up, your cortisol's up, you're stressed out. Then all of a sudden you're getting dehydrated, and it can get really ugly really fast. So you need to go into these fishing experiences and adventures with the proper rest, the proper nutrients, and the proper hydration. That way, if you do happen to get seasick, you're not going to have to get airlifted. It's not going to be an emergency. It's so simple. Got to take care of yourself.
Important this time of year. Safe boating tip brought to you by our good friends at Visit St. Pete Clearwater. We highly recommend that area. We'll be chilling over there in St. Pete this evening. We've got a great vacation plan coming up over St. Pete Beach here for 4th of July, as we always do. So we obviously are big on the staycations.
Yeah, it's a great place to play tourist. That's what I always say.
Play tourist, that's good.
It's fun. You got to enjoy the area you live.
Yeah.
There's a reason we have bad traffic. It's because everybody wants to be here.
Well, there's more than a reason than that. Stop it. Don't get me started.
So definitely worth checking out all the things. It's so cool to go to different parts of the county. It's everywhere is so different. And really it comes to the whole state, right? I mean, you travel a little bit north, a little bit south, a little bit east, and you're in a totally different world. Florida has so much to do and see, and really Pinellas County is a little microcosm of that. From downtown St. Pete is a totally different experience than downtown Dunedin. If you haven't been there, a lot of people miss out on that.
Yeah,
don't sleep on downtown Dunedin. Safety Harbor.
Safety Harbor, Dunedin. I was just thinking that same thing. Dunedin and Safety Harbor are both like sleeper cells.
Little gems.
They really are.
We really shouldn't even talk about it. There's some really cool places in those areas. I mean, Clearwater Beach, obviously everybody knows about, but I personally don't want to fight that. St. Pete Beach is great because it's like not as chaotic as Clearwater Beach, but there's just so many cool places. Paso Grill.
Yes.
Another little hidden gem.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Cool places.
A lot of cool places in Pinellas County to just kind of go
south of
chill.
downtown. Some really good restaurants in there.
Downtown St. Pete's gotten crazy anyway. What a cool, I mean, they've really done a nice job trying to ramp that up. Yeah.
I mean, when I was a kid, I wasn't allowed down there at night. Like, hey, you get out of there at a certain time.
Sure.
Nowadays, it's gorgeous. There's so much to do. See, you can walk around there all night long. It's really, really
It's
cool.
got to be a pretty bad area if your dad said, "Hey, you 6'5" monster, make sure you get out of it." Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that can't be good.
No, but that was a long time ago.
So it was
it's
bad.
changed
Yeah,
so
it has
much.
changed. Yeah, they've really they've really done a nice job ramping it up. So
Yeah.
my lovely bride works in downtown.
And now it's even traveling. Like, I grew up in that area, and that Central Avenue corridor was like my stomping ground. So now it's traveled all the way to like 25th.
Yeah.
I mean, downtown has spread west, and that like mid Central Avenue complex.
Yeah.
There's so many great restaurants in there and things to do, and little bars and breweries. The breweries are endless.
Contender Boats, the boat dealer there, Boiling Point is downtown St. Pete now.
Wow.
Yeah, they
That's
put in a
awesome.
really neat. It was weird when I saw where they put it. I'm like, this is absolutely cool, though.
Mm-hmm.
Where they kind of squeezed it in there. They got a 32 ST and a 26 in the on the showroom floor.
Oh, that's cool.
Right there, yeah, right there in downtown St. Pete. So
That's not something
right in
you'd
that
expect.
area, right in that area you're talking about. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, super cool stuff, man. Super cool stuff. So, no doubt.
Yeah. Lots to do and see, for sure.
Yeah, and a good time to get on the water. This
Beautiful weather.
Full moon's coming. Things are getting right. We got a little rain, cool that water temp down some. So it should be really, really good fishing if you're headed out today, tomorrow. That redfish bite was really, really good yesterday. Lots of snook. The snook are on the beach.
Getting active.
Yeah, they are getting active big time, especially that first thing in the morning, that incoming tide, that kind of the last hour of the incoming, I guess we fished, and it was really, really good yesterday. So, and that should flip here coming up. Maybe even by Sunday, it flips to more of an afternoon outgoing tide bite. As you get on that full moon, that outgoing tide is going to get better. New moon incoming, full moon outgoing. So it's going to flip here. But yesterday morning, we caught really, really good big snook. I think I had a 35 and a 33 on the beach at South Seas yesterday. So
That's awesome.
yeah, and then on that we hit the first part of that outgoing up on the flat on some of the oyster bars, and the redfish were stacked and chewing. So really an interesting bite down there yesterday. So I would assume that's going to
The
travel
redfish
here as
move
well.
deeper when it gets so hot. But now that it's cooled off a little bit.
Yes, they will move a little bit deeper. I mean, I think what moves our redfish more than anything is pressure. I think what happens with redfish in the heat more than anything is they switch to more of that cut bait feed. Like we caught, all our redfish came on cut thread fins. Just take that belly meat, hook it like an airplane wing. So you're hooking towards the lean part. You know what I mean? So when you send it out there, it's like an airplane wing going through the air. That's a Captain Rob Gorda trick I learned years ago. And
So
you
you
can make
right in the
really
middle
long.
of the bait.
Yeah, but you're only taking the middle. You're cutting the head off and cutting the tail off. So you actually hook it on the thin part of the belly.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Opposite of the way, though, you do it offshore. Huh.
Well, you're going straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
You're
different.
trying to
We're trying to.
create
We
an-
want distance. You want to make long casts to get to those fish.
That's interesting. I never would have thought of that. So
Yeah.
that leading thin edge is
No,
pointing
the
towards.
thin edge is not. It's in the back.
Yeah.
Like an airplane wing. Yes.
Yeah.
It's pointed towards
Yeah.
you, just like an airplane wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Long cast.
Trying to
baby.
create lift on your bait.
Long cast, baby.
Huh.
Yeah, man.
That's an interesting
Hey,
one.
the old inshore guy teaching you something. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a bonus.
Learn something new every day.
Again, I learned it from Captain Rob Gorda, who's Really, really
Fishy
good
cat.
at it here. Yeah, he's a fishy cat. A little fishy. I guess we got to take a break here. Should we take a break?
Eventually.
JB's in charge. So we'll let him lead this thing.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised he even lets us be on the air.
I'm surprised he made it through the first hour.
God bless him. Shingle, metal, tile, flat roofs, repairs, replacements, whatever you need, Affordable Roofing System is your safest choice. Give them a call today, 1-888-397-ROOF. Get your free estimate or visit online at affordableroofingflorida.com. We're talking more fishing on the other side. We'll be back. Trouble finding a plumber or an electrician you can trust? A company that is clean, honest, trustworthy, reasonably priced, and shows up on time? Captain Mike.
And Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids.
Loser. We're back. Loser.
Remind me later at the next break, and I'll tell you something else that he's done to me before.
I will.
It's really, and he does it, and then he does it with people, and then isn't smart enough to realize that I've been like not only partnered with them but friends with them forever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I immediately get a phone call and go, "I'm just telling you what he just said, because you should know."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, really, bro? Why?
It's not good to poke the bear.
No, but why would you? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
It's a small industry.
You and I had a conversation at ICAST years ago, right? And I don't even remember all what was said, but I know for a fact that what I told you is how I do business, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if it wasn't, you and I wouldn't be here doing this.
I remember what was said.
Yeah, man.
I'll never forget.
Hello. Hey. Hey. What's, is he okay?
You want me to bring us back in? We're back, Bartow, for the Real Animals Radio Talking Fishing. Captain Mike Anderson and myself, Captain Dylan Hubbard. I want to give a shout out to our friends at Relentless Perpetual Edge Knives, the world's first self-sharpening knife that actually sharpens as it cuts. Ultra-hard carbide, never rust titanium blade, and true grit glass reinforced ABS handle on a knife that is perfectly balanced and comes in 5 great models to choose from. Take the work out of filleting a pile of fish and get your Relentless Knives today. Go to Relentless Knives USA today, or relentlessknivesusa.com, and find out for yourself why this knife is what all the pros are talking about. Definitely great knives, and they don't rust. It's crazy. We've had those knives on a bait station at the back of the Friendly Fisherman and Florida Fisherman, and those knives still, to this day, don't have rust on them. It's pretty wild. It's truly a different kind of blade. Really, really makes a huge difference and cuts incredibly well. You see that stuff sometimes, like never rusts. You're like, yeah, sure. I don't know about that. But it is true. It is wild how well it's taken effect and held on. So we definitely have some good opportunities to go fishing this week with that full moon, as Mike was saying. Near shore right now, we're seeing some really nice action on some pretty decent mangrove snapper. The 12-hour night snapper trip that we offer at Hubbard's Marina is coming back in right now. Fishing the front side of that full moon, they did really well. A really strong bite of mangrove snapper, a few yellowtail vermilions, and on top of that, they had a few red snapper coming up as well. The 39-hour texting, they're crushing them too. So the bite is going well offshore, near shore, and inshore. It's a great time to get out there and capitalize. We'll be right back with more on the other side. Don't forget, you can call in 1-800-969-9352 if you want to say hello. Bring us a fishing report. Whatever it is, give us a call. Real Animals Radio. We'll be right back.
Local Lexus dealers, WFLA News.
Morning, Earl. Dan, yeah, I thought so too. That was definitely an interesting tip with the thread fin. Long casts. Morning, Scott. Morning, Ray. Calm winds and hot conditions. Interesting. Definitely calm. Really calm the next few days. Through Wednesday. 10 mile an hour or less, basically. Pretty wild. Dang. Everything all right? You need to go? Yeah. We'll be right back.
I got. That's no bueno.
No. But it's 2025, man. It's crazy what they can do.
No, I get it. But, she just said, 2 to 4 months of rehab.
Mm. Well, I think it's early. The good part is they have so much now.
Oh, for sure. But still, out of the blue, just talked to him yesterday, hey. Oh.
You need help tomorrow?
I don't know. I gotta call Mahoney. I'm supposed to not be there. I'm supposed to go with the wife tonight, and then I was off tomorrow. I'll call Mahoney and see if he can get it covered, or if he wants me to come in or what.
Okay. If you need help, I can help. Narcan, Revive Awareness Day. We had all these
don't do it.
firefighters and ambulances and cops show up to Don's dock yesterday morning. They're like, oh, well, we heard there was an overdose. And we're like, no, not here. You're at the wrong dock. You got to go to the other commercial dock. The other commercial dock has cases of Narcan.
Oh,
they must have been out. So sad.
That was weird, because I was like, why is he calling me? He wasn't. She was. Shit.
It's Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Welcome back. 7:35 here at the iHeartMedia Empire. Again, phone lines are open. It's our last big segment of the morning. 1-800-969-9352. Put a shout out to, again, our good friends at Relentless Perpetual Edge Knives. What does Perpetual Edge mean? It's the world's first self-sharpening knife. Sharpens as it cuts. Beaver tooth technology. Tooth. T-O-O-F. Tooth. It's the best.
Love it.
Yes, absolutely incredible knives. You got to check them out. Go to relentlessknivesusa.com. I'm telling you, they're really game changing. Have you guys had that one forever? I tell people that story all the time.
The last segment, I talked about it while you were out of the room. It's crazy how long it's lasted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So
good stuff.
Yeah, really good stuff. So no doubt about it. We were talking about weather looking really good for the next couple of days. We're coming up on the full moon.
The redfish bite's been good, you said?
The redfish bite's been good.
So
the only thing
what about the mangroves? Have you been targeting them yet?
We haven't been, but we've been catching them on the docks already. I haven't got into that mode. I was thinking about that the other day, that bite's been so good, like we could probably go do that if we need to do it. But you don't really.
When we're doing our Visit St. Pete Clearwater filming thing, I want to go.
You want to go mangrove snapper fishing?
Yeah.
Well, we've been catching them on the docks, and they're not real big yet.
No,
but
I want to do that middle Tampa Bay rock pile thing.
I don't know if they're there yet. They shouldn't be there yet.
They're there.
They're there.
They're there.
Well, we could do that. We could do that. We could always do that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. We got to find the right bait for that, too.
You need the small ones.
Them little baits.
Yeah. The 3-inch greenbacks.
Little ones work really good for that.
Yeah, it's hard to find the little bait right now.
Right now.
It's all big
That's
bait.
all going to change. It might change on this moon.
Yeah.
The moon's come along and everything changes in the bait world. But that's just how that works. If you're catching bait and things are going really, really well,
the moon will screw you up.
Know that the moon is going to come. And
the new moon screws it up too?
Everything. Yeah, the moon. Yep.
So new moon and full moon both change.
Every 14 days or whatever it is. Yeah. It changes.
Nice.
Yeah, it changes.
Well, that's why it's good to work with people and have that communication.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And it's interesting too. What was interesting last week was we were catching bait on a certain flat at a certain spot, and it was there like stupid thick, like one or two throws in the grass, and you were choked full in the live wells. And the live well in the Contender Bay is 40 gallons. So, I mean, choked out. And then I talked to Captain Lee Blick. He's like, yeah, it wasn't there, but I saw birds diving down. It moved like 400 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So we went down there. I just started chumming. I'm like, I don't see it, but just go ahead and throw. And boom, there it was. Like, 3 throws, and you're just choked. Like, it's crazy the way it just moves like a city block. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't thick at all where we initially were catching it, and then, like, just over, like, a couple of days. And I don't know if that's wind that moves it. Probably is. Could be just a wind thing, you know, like everything else. Like, fish move in the wind. You know, redfish notoriously do not like wind over their back.
You'll catch bait at the same flat in the same general area for multiple days in a row.
Oh, yeah.
And then a moon or wind or something will change it.
Yeah, could change it. And sometimes you luck out when it's really, really thick. Because for some reason we have so much bait this year. I think the reason that a bait is so plentiful this year is because of the red tide to the south. That early red tide to the south, I think, pushed a lot of the bait to the north. So the bait that we have this year just seems to be crazy thick. So I say things normally change every moon cycle, every moon phase. When you come through a new or a full moon, everything will change. But it's been on the flat for a while now at a couple of locations. So, you know, I guess I shouldn't say that it automatically moves, but it usually changes. And what happens are things like all of a sudden there's a hatch. You know what I mean? Like, I don't look at my live one and go, oh, look, so cute. You guys are pregnant. You know what I mean? You don't know that it's coming. Like, all of a sudden, boom, you have the hatch and the party's on. Next thing you know, you got fry bait everywhere. Yeah. And that can be really kind of a pain because it changes everything. So
moves them around.
Yeah, well, again, the moon does the same thing to the fish.
Yeah,
inshore, it moves everything around. Does it move them around offshore?
The moons, I think, change the way that the fish operate. It might move them around, but what we notice is just the shift in trends, right? And it's not necessarily the moon, but when the moon is up. So a lot of times inshore, it's, full moon. They're going to be feeding well at night. But offshore, it's like those moon rise and moon sets are important. Last night's 12-hour night snapper went out there and crushed them. The bite was on fire.
Really?
Moon set, bite went off. It was like night and day difference. So you have to watch that moon rise and moon set.
You know, what's interesting is inshore, if you're having a horrible morning and you look up,
the moon set,
you can still see the moon. That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
It's interesting.
It is.
Yeah. Has something to do with it.
That whole lunar tables thing is.
But also keep in mind that it's just one variable. And I always like to emphasize that to people when we start talking about the moons, because people can get so wrapped around the axle, like it's not a full moon, or I only fish 2 days ahead of the full moon and 3 days after. And that's all well and good, but there's other variables that go into it. Wind, salinity, water temperature, bathymetry, chlorophyll.
Tide.
Clarity, tide. I mean, there's so many other variables that affect it too.
It's funny too, because
don't get too wrapped around it.
When you become a charter captain, I look to see what the tide. Like, somebody will call you and say, "Hey, I want June 14th." You're like, "Okay, let me look at my book." "Oh yeah, I'm open June 14th." "Okay, I'll take it." I don't look at the tides for June 14th until the 13th.
Yeah. But what's interesting is you can look at the tides for June 14th on December 1st of the previous year.
For sure.
It's really interesting that we can do that.
Well, and you know what I do is in my book, I have a paper book still, but in my book.
Surprise.
Yeah, shocker, right? But I literally, and I do that because if you put everything in your phone, you lose your phone. Anyway, if you put, don't start. I know you're going to, I know where you're going. Don't. Just let it go.
Yep. Letting that one slide. Go ahead.
Let it go. I put the moon phases in my book so that I know, like, because if you have people that call you up when to come.
I used to do that in like 1999.
Well, whatever. I don't care what you do. I'm just
There's an app for that.
I know there is, but I don't want to have to why do I want to go to my phone if I want to turn his mic off?
So you go online and find the moon phases and then write them in this paper book?
I just put the full and the new, so I know when the full and the new is, so I know coming up when I'm looking.
When you're at it, why don't you put in the tides?
Why?
So many questions. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
I already know 3 days before the new moon, the tides are going to be good.
Okay.
3 days before the full moon, the tides are going to be good.
All right.
So why would I write those in there?
That's silly. Why would you use a paper calendar? But I'm so confused.
Well, you are.
So you just write in the moon phases, is what you're saying?
I just put in a full or new.
Not the quarter
actual
moons.
date. Nope. Just
Quarter moons, no effect.
Well, yeah.
You know the
fishing
tide's going to
usually
stink.
sucks, right?
Yeah. So you just write in the full and new, and you know 2 weeks, a week before, a week after, you're going to have the...
Pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good wheelhouse. And I do that specifically for quick reference on a phone conversation of, instead of having to go to an app and look it up or whatever, I just want to know.
That'd be silly.
I just want to know, but I just don't want to have to pull it up. I want to look at my book and go, hey, what day what day should I come in June?
Mm-hmm.
I'll come 3 days before the new moon.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just put it in my book.
Yeah, but I mean, what I was getting at is if it's cloudy, it throws a lot of that off.
100%.
Right? If it's overcast, it throws a lot of that. If the water's
100%.
dirty, it throws a lot of that off. So
I've said for years that I literally told customers the night before, we should not do this.
Mm-hmm.
This is not going to be good. Massive cold front just came through. It's going to blow 25 out of the north. They're not going to chew. Let's not go.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had them say, listen, we're in town.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have anything else planned. We'd rather be on a boat.
My
in Florida.
grandfather always used to say that they're going to be angry if you cancel, and they're going to be angry if you take them. So you might as well, if you can keep them safe, go out there and make your money.
Well, and there's some truth to that, but I always like to just be transparent.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to suck.
Yeah, and same thing.
And then, but no, here's the cool part of the story. About half the time, on the day you think it's going to suck, you end up, I mean, I've literally had guys look over their shoulder with their fourth or fifth fish on and look at me and go, you didn't want to go today? Like, what is wrong with this, dude?
And the flip side can be true, too.
We're on fish 30. It can be true, too. You're right. It
like,
can be,
today's going to rock. The tide's right. The water clarity's right. We crushed them yesterday.
Yes.
And you get out there and you're like, whoa. What happened?
I tell my customers that everything about today, literally by the book, said today should stink.
Mm-hmm.
And yet we caught fish.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything about today says it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The weather's right, the barometer, everything.
We caught them here yesterday,
yes,
I promise.
Right. Well, one of my customers just gave me a hat that actually says,
Should have been here yesterday.
That's a new AFCO hat, actually.
Free beer yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really weird the way that works, but it does work that way. I mean, you think
it's not a science.
Perfect. Well, it's not a perfect science.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a science, but it's not a perfect science. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about that. Let's check in with our good friend, Captain Bobby Woodard, down in Boca Grande. Bobby boy, what's up?
Hey, good morning, fellas.
How are you?
Bobby, you had me rolling this morning. I listed our Yamaha 450s for sale on Marketplace, and I got a message this morning on the Marketplace listing. Hey, are these still available? From Bobby. I was dying laughing. Good one.
I was going to say, do you have more pictures?
We do. We're updating that listing here soon. But yeah, I was laughing pretty good. How's the tarpon bite going, buddy?
Oh man, it's good. It's been a really good season. Probably the best season I would say in the last 5 years or so.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. Morning bite's good, afternoon bite's good, night bite's good. I mean, as long as the weather holds and there's no storms, and like Mike was just saying, you can keep the people safe.
Yeah.
Get out there and go fishing, man.
I was talking to Ed Walker, a council member this week, and he was talking about our buddy from Salt Rock Grill. And how he likes to go out as soon as it rains. And a lot of times right after the rain, if you can get out there really, really, really quickly after those storms pass by, that all those tarpon are up on the surface. There's not a lot of people around. There's no pressure. They get all
100%.
happy. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Let's think about that.
Yeah.
And I remember as a kid, those summertime showers go through on the flat, and it's like the trout would turn on as soon as the rain stopped, because it's like they get all cool and frisky and happy.
Barometer's moving.
Yeah.
That barometer is really, really important. For some reason, that barometer is tied to their heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
They
that
get
lateral line.
Yeah.
They can sense it.
Big time. No doubt.
Interesting stuff.
But hey, quick topic change. I was, listening, and you guys were talking about, booking trips, and Mike said he, writes everything in his book, including the moon phases. Mike, I'm right there with you, buddy. I do the exact same
Yeah,
thing.
Bobby has a paper book too. No surprise there.
I love that about you, buddy. Appreciate you.
Old school.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
You know what we're going to do at ICAST? You and I are going to have breakfast together again without Dylan and just talk smack about him. That's what we're going to do.
There you go.
But then we'll figure out what
There you
morning
go.
he's got an early meeting. And we'll just meet for breakfast and talk smack about him for a while just to
Good luck.
make ourselves feel better.
And we'll have breakfast at a place that still has paper menus. You know, instead of all this fancy
You guys can go to
technology
Waffle
stuff.
House. I'll for sure not be there. You'll be safe in there.
Oh Lord.
Classic.
Yeah, nice.
So what is the tarpon biting on best for you?
Crabs. I mean, I primarily use crabs. I'll use pinfish and squirrelfish and threadfin and whatever else I feel like we need to. But primarily crabs. If I'm out on the beach, I do like to go hit. I keep a couple pinfish traps in the water, so I'll swing by and hit my traps. And I don't, just historically over the years, I have a ton of confidence in a decent sized pinfish under a cork on the beach for whatever reason. Just, it's a big splash, so, you can't really cast to the fish, but if you're able to get in front of them, set up, find out where they're coming and get that bait in the water so they swim to it and it's their choice to eat once they get there versus you trying to feed them, then that pinfish under a cork just works really, really well out on the beach for me.
What size pinfish?
Definitely not a hand size. I mean, we're not talking like big giant grouper bait, but I mean, we're also not talking like, under a small popping cork for a trout also. So like somewhere in between. So I'd say like a 4-incher probably,
Okay.
just to throw a round number out there.
And how far under the cork?
Depends on where I'm fishing. When you're out there on the beach, sometimes those fish take a more what I call like inside line or, more of an outside line. So it just kind of depends on, where you're at in relation to that, first or second bar and how deep the water is. But I mean, generally speaking, 4 feet-ish, 4 feet, 5 feet, something like that.
Giving them
you get
lots
much
of room.
more than that, then it's kind of hard, to get a decent cast and, it's out there helicoptering when you cast it and all that kind of fun stuff. So, somewhere around there.
Interesting.
Good stuff, brother. Well done. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, Bobby, if they want to come down there and book a trip. Lots of good tarpon fishing all the way through July and August. So tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, so old school. Give me a phone call, 863-224-1418 or captain-bobby.com.
He did give out his website. I was going to say he probably won't even give out his website.
Bobby, you're the man, bro. I look forward to seeing you here soon, pal.
Awesome. Thanks, fellas.
All right, buddy. Good stuff. Good stuff right there. All right, we got to take a break.
There it is. Our buddy John, fishing John's Pass, said the tarpon were well too far off the beach this morning. Swim out. West wind, dirty water.
West wind, dirty water. They've been offshore. But then when they come back in, it's going to be Grub City. Plus that outgoing tide is ramping up for that crab flush. Things are happening.
So
things are
come
right.
back.
That's it. Wrapping things up on the other side. We'll be back. The Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show.
Yeah. So, John, the tarpon will come back to the beach with that moon. Gotta wait for them to come back. They'll be hungry. That's what Mike was talking about earlier. Oh, man. Back is killing me. Morning, Leonard. Morning, Steven. Paul Brown, Bob the Builder. He can build it. Yes, he can. Yeah, Captain Bobby can build pretty much anything. It's crazy. Did his own roof, built his own boat, built a barn, a garage. He rebuilt his house. Hurricane happened. Hurricane Ian took out his house down there in Fort Myers area, and he rebuilt the whole thing. His better half, Anna, is quite the building helper too. So he didn't do it all alone. Mike's okay. He got bad news about a close friend, so keep his friend in your prayers for sure.
told you Power Pucks is gone, right?
Yeah. And you're not here next week, right?
No, sir.
Can I borrow that when you're done?
At least I hope to not be. I'm supposed to take tomorrow off, too. Let's see what happens.
What? Next week is softball?
Yeah. Then I think it's like 1 or maybe 2 weeks, and then we're at the beach, I think. We just have to figure out that schedule for. No, 14th and 15th. And we're here.
I thought your beach thing was in July. It's in June?
4th of July.
Yeah.
But the 28th, I think we leave on the 28th, which is a Saturday, because we come back on the 5th. Because that first Friday is
July 4th is a Friday.
Yeah. then we're home for a week. We'll have radio, and then we'll be at ICAST. And I think I play on the 19th and 20th right after ICAST. If we play, we may not play. I'm playing on the 12th, too. I know I'm playing on the 12th. I'll have to figure that out. Because we probably won't play that 19th. I'll probably play on the 12th. I know I'm playing on the 12th in Tampa with Piranha. But the 19th, I think, is in Lee County. We never have enough to go to Lee County, at least this year. Next year, that shit's going to change because I'm going to
change it.
Fixing to regroup. I got a bunch of guys now that just don't want to travel unless it's with one of their big boy teams. And I'm like, I'm over it. Well, then just go play with the big boy team and don't play with us.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Turn your mic on, Joey. OCC Roadhouse Real Animals Fishing Conversation, Tuesday, June 24th, 7 to 9 p.m. Always going to be the fourth Tuesday of the month. We are looking forward to seeing everybody out there. We've had 2 events out there. They've both been fantastic. We've had a great turnout of people. The food is fantastic. The beers are ice cold. And the space, the ambiance, we couldn't ask for a better venue to do these things at. So lots of parking. So come on out and see us. OCC Roadhouse, Real Animals Fishing Conversation, Tuesday, June 24th, 7 to 9 p.m. I tell you kind of where OCC Roadhouse is and all that, but Dylan says we don't have to anymore. There's no need for that. It's somewhere on the planet Earth.
It's on 49th Street, just south of Ulmerton. Just look it up. There's an app for that. Or you could pull out your paper book and your paper map, and we could give you the address. But who does that?
What's the weather going to be like?
It looks beautiful. The weather is gorgeous the next few days. Really into Thursday, it's looking really good. But Wednesday night potentially might get a little bit of weather, but not much. And then the weekend, potentially, we might see a little bit more weather. But definitely the first 4 or 5 days here look really, really good. And we're expecting some really good fishing around the front side of this moon. So get out there and take advantage of it. That full moon is coming Wednesday, so tide should be picking up. A lot of fish are moving. Offshore, red snapper bites in full swing. We're seeing big yellowtails. A lot of pelagic action still with blackfin tuna, the occasional wahoo. It's been really, really good out there. Start about 120 to find your red snapper. But the deeper you go, the bigger they get, the more concentrated they are. And it's been a really, really good time to get out there. Near shore, we're seeing some nice lanes, a few mangroves, a couple red grouper. Got a lot of mackerel out there still. So it's a good time.
Lots of bait.
Lots of bait.
Last time I pushed offshore, we saw lots of bait.
Yeah, near the beach. Once you get out there, the bait's a little bit less populated.
When you say near the beach, because I didn't go that deep. I mean, we were fishing. I was doing some filming just outside of state.
Once you get past
waters.
9, 10, 12 miles, you stop to see the bait as much.
So, see, we were kind of in that range, about 11 miles. So
there's still some bait offshore, but it's fewer and further between for sure.
I wonder why that is. Interesting.
It's spread out.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Our weather update brought to you by our good friends at Reese Windows and Doors. Go to reesewindows.com for more information. Lots and lots of good stuff coming down the pipe here. Good fishing. Hope everybody has a fantastic, fantastic Saturday. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m., 95.3 WDA and AM 620 for the T.M. Mahoney Company Real Animals radio show.
Tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. for the live show. We give away free fishing trips each Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. on the Real Animals Hubbard's Marina Facebook pages, the YouTube channel, Hubbard's Marina. Check it out. We got a lot of videos coming up that are really, really interesting. So make sure you subscribe on YouTube. And don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy.
Yeah, I had a phone call during the show. A really good friend of mine, a good friend of a lot of yours as well, in the hospital. A little surgery this morning. Life is short, people. You just never, ever, ever know. So whatever you're going through, whatever you're arguing with loved ones, family members, a brother, a friend from college, whatever it is, life is short, man. Just take care of that stuff before it bites you in the butt. I'm telling you, life is short. It's crazy. So I wish everybody a super, super blessed Saturday. Stay safe out there. We'll talk soon.
And don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy.
Too darn busy. That lines, everybody.
Well. Y'all, thank you for tuning in and being a part of Real Animals Saturday. We'll see you tomorrow, Real Animals Sunday, 7 to 9 a.m. We'll see you tomorrow night for the live show. Got Amy Verdinsky from Old Salts joining us. Nice. Verdinsky. And maybe Tommy, too. Not sure. So the Old Salts folks are coming out.
They were at OCC last time.
Yeah. So they're going to be talking about their ladies tournament, the Teal tournament coming up. And we're going to be going into that Golf Council update a little bit more and then diving into your questions. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night for the live show. And if you didn't catch last week's show, we had Scott on there.
Yeah.
It was cool, man. It was really cool.
It's too painful a conversation.
If you want to learn how to be a better beach snook fisherman, last week's live show was a master class. It was really interesting. I learned a lot, too.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Crazy cool.
Talented guy.
For sure. Hopefully everybody has a great Saturday. Get out there and enjoy this beautiful weather and great fishing, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow